In this daily drop, I'm going to talk about Rosco's SoftDrops, so let's go. All right, everybody, last episode from TIFFEN's Burbank facility before I head home. And behind me, what we're looking at is Rosco's SoftDrop. Now, there's a lot of these, and some of them are enormous and some of them are smaller, like the one behind me. But the general idea behind a soft drop is if you were shooting a television show or a film, we'll call it a motion picture now because we don't actually record to film very often, then there are often situations where they'll build a set and those sets are built out of flats, and then those flats have windows, and then when you're looking outside of those windows, you're seeing something like a soft drop behind it. They make them generally out of, like this one, vinyl, or also a fabric-based material. And depending on what type of soft drop you get and you rent, because these are usually rentable items, they will have either the ability to be lit from the front, from the rear, or both. Now, we are rear lighting this particular soft drop, and that's what's giving it its glow. Right now, just so that you know, because I just shot a video with a monitor in the frame, I'm set to basically 6,500 Kelvin all around. But the lights that I have burning, they're three Freestyle Airs from KinoFlow behind there, are burning at about 60% intensity, and I think at about 5,000 Kelvin. So a little bit warmer than the key light here. And when we were actually doing something for the event, we actually did a little bit differently. We had 3,200 Kelvin for our key in the space, and then I set that to a split 4,400 Kelvin, meaning between 3,200 and 5,600 Kelvin, and it worked out really well. I'm just leaving it the way it is right now. But basically grommeted all around. We have this on speed rail from a loaner from CineLease, and it's coming down in about 3 or 4 minutes. But I think these things are great. I think the biggest disadvantage to a soft drop is if it's vinyl, you can't fold it. The fabric ones are a little bit more flexible in terms of being able to do that, to wrap them around. So if they're a little larger than they need to be, you have to be more careful with the vinyl. And it takes some finessing to get it really taut, but it's definitely doable. But again, the one thing for me that's the disadvantage is if you're seeing a scene in the background, the one thing a soft drop is not giving you is movement. So we're not seeing cars moving. We're not seeing lights changing in the background. And sometimes that's a benefit because it's a little less distracting, but sometimes it's a lot nicer to have a little bit of that movement. You're of course going to get that with rear projection, and Rosco actually has a system where a lot of the soft drop library is now in a digital form, and a lot of that stuff actually has movement in it. So if you were doing something where you're putting somebody, let's say, in an exterior location in a city, you would actually see cars moving and passing behind talent and things like that. But a pretty cool piece of kit. It was ideal for what we were doing here for the tech day at TIFFEN, and we were able to set up 3 cameras, 2 RE cameras and 1 RED camera, and we were doing all of these filter tests, and it worked out well. I talk a little bit about that in an episode earlier this week. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.